I hear so many stories about we're not going to allow their students, or we're going to allow their students to come in. We're going to allow, it's very important, 600,000 students.
All right, guys, you've probably seen the headlines that President Trump says the United States is going to continue to allow 600,000 Chinese students to continue studying at American colleges. 600,000 students. He says it's very important. Now, you don't believe me. He said it. Let's pull this clip up and take a look at what he said right here in the Oval Office. Play it.
President Xi would like me to come to China. It's a very important relationship. As you know, we're taking a lot of money in from China because of the tariffs and the different things. And it's a very important relationship. We're going to get along good with China. I hear so many stories about we're not going to allow their students, or we're going to allow their students to come in. We're going to allow, it's very important, 600,000 students. It's very important. But we're going to get along with China. But it's a different relationship that we have now with China. It's a much better relationship economically than it was before. With Biden, boy, what he allowed that, I mean, they just took him to the cleaners, you know?
All right, this is one of those deals where we have to disagree. We can support the president, but we have to disagree. I don't know if he's just saying things a little too quickly without thinking them through. And yes, I'm just a simple country boy, but when somebody tells me something is very important without explaining why, my first thought is important for who? Important for who? Because I guarantee you it's not for the guy that's working 2 jobs to put his kid through trade school. It's not for the American mom wondering how her son got rejected from college because his spot got filled by a visiting scholar from Beijing. And let's be honest, these aren't just kids that are showing up with backpacks full of ramen noodles and highlighters. No. A lot of these students come preloaded with marching orders from the Chinese Communist Party. They're not studying liberal arts, folks. They're studying how to steal intellectual property 101. I want to pull up this from Stanford. Take a look at this, how Beijing infiltrates U.S. universities. The Trump administration, this is from June, is revoking visas for Chinese students with connections to the Chinese Communist Party for studying in critical fields and revising its visa criteria to enhance scrutiny of all future visa applications for students from China and Hong Kong. This is both necessary and long overdue. For years, China has been engaged in systematic effort to target U.S. universities using Chinese students to conduct extensive espionage and intellectual property theft on elite campuses across the United States, which has helped fuel China's technological and military growth. And then it goes on to discuss more and more. Folks, we've seen these headlines over and over again and read about these, quote, graduate students getting busted smuggling sensitive research out of our labs. Chinese exchange students hacking into databases. We've heard about the professors quietly raking in cash from CCP-type programs while pretending it's all just global cooperation. Take a look at this. From the education and workforce, CCP is using U.S. universities to bolster its military. You got institutions of higher education. This is back in 2021, this was written. They're not taking the threat of China seriously. A recent report by the Foundation for Defense Democracies makes clear the Confucius Institutes are not the only way the Communist Chinese Party is trying to gain a foothold in the United States. There are multiple other ways the CCP is infiltrating college campuses, including leveraging Chinese researchers and students studying in the U.S. to steal sensitive research and intellectual property on behalf of the CCP's military. Are you guys catching up with me yet? Unfortunately, the report highlights how many colleges and universities are still willing to turn a blind eye to the threat of partnering with the CCP, despite clear evidence that these partnerships pose a major national security threat. And then it goes on and on and on. Here we are. The president makes that announcement today about 600,000 Chinese students. Listen, instead of slamming the brakes, we're flooring the gas pedal. Come on, folks. It's like saying the Wi-Fi password is America123. We got national security at stake, even the FBI. Hey guys, we're going to get right back to the video, but before we do, I want to remind you that when inflation jumps and you hear that the national debt is over $37 trillion, do you ever sit back and think maybe now would be a good time to buy some gold, whether it's a hedge against inflation or peace of mind during global instability, or just sensible diversification? Birch Gold Group has every American covered, where you can be backed by physical gold. They created something special just for our listeners until September 30th. If you're a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 in free metals on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and start the process, request an info kit now by texting CHAD, I spell it Chad, to the number 989898. Plus, Birch Gold can help you with an existing IRA or 401k by rolling it over into IRA backed by gold, folks. You're still eligible for the rebate and free metals up to $10,000. Birch Gold is the only precious metals company that I trust, as do tens of thousands of their customers. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. So text Chad to 989898. Let our friends over at Birch Gold help you right now. Talked about China being the risk to academia. March 2018, more than 1.4 million international students and professors were participating in America's open and collaborative academic environment. The inclusion of these international scholars at U.S. colleges and universities entails both substantial benefit and notable risk. Many of these visitors contribute to the impressive successes and achievements enjoyed by these institutions, which produce advanced research, cutting-edge technology, and insightful scholarship. However, this open environment also puts academia at risk for exploitation by foreign actors who do not follow our rules or share our values. It says these 1.4 million international scholars on the U.S. campuses pose no threat to their host institutions, fellow classmates, or research fields. On the contrary, these international visitors represent valuable contributors to their campuses and achievements and financial benefits, diversity of ideas, sought. But here's the thing, folks. The FBI recognizes in the last sentence and values this unique package of benefits these international students and professors provide. However, some foreign actors, particularly foreign state adversaries, China, that would be, they seek to illicitly or illegitimately acquire U.S. academic research and information to advance their scientific, economic, and military development goals. By doing so, they can save their country significant time and money and resources in achieving generational advances in technology. Through their exploitive efforts, they reduce U.S. competitiveness and deprive victimized parties of revenue and credit for the work. Foreign adversaries' acquisition efforts can come in many forms, including overt theft, plagiarism, elicitation, and commercialization of early-stage collaborative research. Listen, this isn't about being anti-student, folks. This is about being pro-security. When you got 600,000 foreign nationals from a hostile regime camped out in your classrooms, your labs, and your dormitories, that's not education, it's infiltration. It's like leaving your garage door open and acting shocked when the lawnmower disappears. I mean, golly, I didn't think the Chinese government would take this from us. The CCP doesn't need to break into our Pentagon, which, by the way, the Pentagon just last week did come out with a statement. Pete Hegseth said he wants to know who's owning this the Chinese lands near our military bases. Why the change now when you've got these students in our universities? Listen, they can just sit in a classroom at MIT, take notes, and email them back to Beijing. Why spend billions of dollars developing stealth technology when they can copy and paste ours for the cost of a semester abroad? And don't get me started on our universities. They love this program. They do. You know why? Tuition dollars, cold hard cash. You think Harvard cares whether the student in the lab is loyal to America or loyal to the CCP? Does anybody remember freaking COVID? No, they just care that the check clears. So we got universities so addicted to foreign money that they'd sell their mascot costumes if Beijing offered them enough yuan. It's academic crack and they're hooked on it. Meanwhile, American kids are drowning in debt, fighting to get a seat in their own classrooms, while we roll out the red carpet for guests whose primary homework assignment is copy America's homework and fax it to China. Now, it bothers me, folks, as a Trump supporter, as an administration supporter, when he says this is it's very important. Again, I ask, important for who? It's important for the globalists who think America's job is to train the world while hollowing out our own country. Important for the universities to see Chinese students as dollar signs with legs, or important for China, who gets to send in hundreds of thousands of bright young minds, many tied to their military, and let us pay for their advanced training. That's like your neighbor asking if they can borrow your truck, and then you find that he used to rob your own house. Folks, if you had 600,000 raccoons show up in your backyard, you wouldn't say, well, we can't kick them out. It's very important. They eat my garbage. You'd be setting traps. You'd be calling animal control. You'd be reinforcing the fence. But when 600,000 foreign nationals from a communist regime show up, oh no, suddenly that's progress. No, sir. No. If 500,000 college students from Canada showed up tomorrow, we'd joke about it. I mean, if they came from Greece, that wouldn't be a problem. We're talking about a foreign hostile government playing chess while we're over here eating the checker pieces. Folks, this isn't xenophobia. It's common sense. I'm glad that Trump has a better relationship with Xi Jinping. I hope that they can work a lot of things out. I know that there's some great economic value there, as well as the threat for global peace, believe it or not. But China's not our buddy. They're not a partner. They are a communist adversary that's hell-bent on becoming the world superpower. They're poisoning our kids with fentanyl, manipulating our supply chains. They're buying up our farmland, and now they're using our universities as their own R&D department. And we're supposed to smile and nod because the president said it from the Oval Office because he says it's very important. No, what's important is protecting the American people and our knowledge and our technology and our future. So here's the deal. If China wants to educate its students, let them build their own universities. I guarantee you they won't let 600,000 Americans go over there and study their secrets. Let them fund their own labs. We've seen what happens when they do. Stop turning America into a free community college for communists. National security, folks, is not a scholarship program. Every one of those 600,000 should be vetted like they're applying for a top secret clearance. And if we can't guarantee loyalty, they shouldn't be here, period. End of story. Because when the history books are written, I don't want the chapter on America's decline to read we lost it all because we were too polite to kick out the spies who were enrolled in freshman chemistry at the University of Pennsylvania. So yeah, Mr. President, I respect you. But on this one, sir, you're dead wrong. Make sure you subscribe and you like and you're following the Chad Prather Show. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. We can handle it around here. And we'll see you again later on. Keep your eyes open. God bless.